I was accidentally summoned to another world in Duck Pajamas. Through chaos and luck, I gained allies, a broken power, and legendary Garanly to face the Demon Lord as an unknown threat awakens. I charged with my two allies beside me. The Lady Knight roared and struck. My familiar slammed forward, squeaking bravely, and I swung with everything I had. Magic and steel collided as the Demon Lord laughed through the chaos. The Demon Lord moved faster than I expected. Dark magic tore the ground apart. I barely stood as my stats surged again. The Lady Knight blocked a fatal blow, grinning despite the fear. My familiar bounced back up, unbroken.
You carry a heavy fate, I see. With the fate you carry, that but, at times, wow.
I focused, cutting through spell after spell. Each hit cracked the Demon Lord's armor. My familiar rammed his legs, and the knight shattered his guard. The laughter stopped. For the first time, the Demon Lord staggered. We pushed together. My blade struck the same spot again and again. With a thunderous crack, the Demon Lord's armor split open. Dark energy poured out, warping the air. The battlefield fell silent. The armor collapsed to the ground, empty. Something moved inside the darkness left behind. My familiar whimpered. The knight stepped closer to me. I realized then, we hadn't been fighting his true form. From the shattered armor rose the demon's true body, twisted, massive, and horrifying. No crown, no armor, just pure malice staring back at us. The Demon Lord smiled again. "This," he said, "is my real self." The demon's gaze pierced me. My blade fell heavy. I looked at the Lady Knight, her eyes widened. "Wait," she muttered, voice shaking. Something in his stance, his aura. She froze mid-step. I had no idea what she saw, but the air grew colder. "My God," she whispered, gripping my arm. "This isn't the Demon Lord we knew. It's someone else. I recognize her. I think she's..." Her voice cracked. I looked from her to the towering figure. My heart pounded. Who was this demon? The dark figure trembled, then sank to one knee. I am Machina Rose," she said, voice breaking. The battlefield fell silent. Magic faded. Even my familiar paused. I stared, confused. Tears glistened in her glowing eyes as she looked at us, defeated and trembling. "I was supposed to inherit his power," Machina Rose whispered, voice quivering, "but I failed. I couldn't surpass him. And now..." She collapsed slightly, hands covering her face. The Lady Knight gritted her teeth. I didn't know whether to fight, console, or run. Her sobs echoed across the battlefield. "I never wanted this," Machina Rose cried, voice breaking like glass. Her massive form shivered as if ashamed of her own existence. Even the Demon Lord's aura seemed distant now. I could feel the weight of her regret crushing the silence. Machina Rose stirred, groaning as chains rattled around her. Her glowing eyes opened slowly, filled with both defiance and fear. I stepped closer, night hovering anxiously. Einherj crossed her arms, glaring. "Tell us, why did you pretend to be the Demon Lord?" Her voice trembled but carried weight. "I had to. I needed to take power to survive, and to avenge my father." She pulled against the chains weakly. I crouched to meet her eyes. Night nuzzled my hand. Einherj's jaw tightened. "Explain everything," she demanded. Machina Rose's voice cracked. "The previous Demon Lord, my father, was betrayed and killed by the one who wears his crown now. I impersonated him, trying to gain enough strength to take revenge. Every monster I struck, every spell I cast, it was all for him." I stepped forward, loosening the chains slowly. "I'm Leon," I said softly. Einherj followed, smiling faintly. "I'm Einherj," Night chirped, bouncing around her. Machina Rose's eyes widened as the chains fell. I'm Machina Rose," she whispered, her voice shaking, unsure if she could trust us. Machina Rose told us everything as we traveled. "The current Demon Lord's castle isn't truly his," she said. "He's a usurper. The real power is hidden. I need to find the original castle, where my father's legacy remains, and where I can finally confront him." Einherj nodded, gripping her sword. "So we're going to the castle of the true Demon Lord, together." I adjusted my duck pajamas nervously. Night bounced in agreement. Machina Rose sighed, a mix of resolve and fear. ready to walk beside us toward a fate she had longed to face. The road was long, filled with monsters and ruined villages. Machina Rose fought beside us, her skills precise but careful, always holding back. I saw her smile faintly when Knight tripped over a boulder and accidentally smashed the slime. Slowly, she was learning trust again. Einherj teased her for her serious glare. Knight crawled over her shoulders, and I laughed at their antics. Machina Rose began to loosen, telling stories of her father, of the kingdom she lost, and of her plans to make things right, step by step, letting herself feel like part of a team. By campfire light, Machina Rose laughed quietly for the first time. She admitted mistakes, apologized for her deception, and offered her power to Leon, Knight, and Einherj. The bonds of the party grew stronger. I felt her weight on our shoulders, but it no longer felt like a burden. Finally, Machina Rose fully joined us, wiping tears from her cheeks. She hugged Knight, held Einherj's arm, and looked at me with shaky eyes. I'm really with you now, she whispered. Then, she broke down, crying like a baby, letting all her past pain fall away at last. We pressed on, leaving familiar lands behind. Machina Rose walked beside us, quiet but determined. Einherj's armor glinted in the sunlight, and Knight bounded ahead. Every step brought us closer to the true Demon Lord's castle, and the answers we sought. After days of travel, we spotted smoke in the distance. A city appeared, its towers inscribed with glowing runes. The City of Runes, Machina Rose said softly. Legends speak of knowledge and power hidden here. We must be careful. It is sacred ground.
I can feel greater power emanating from you in a not-so-distant past. Find that chest. Then go look for the mysterious woman. She would lead you to with your fate. You were born of a bright light.
We wandered through streets lined with floating glyphs. Scholars and mages watched us cautiously as Knight sniffed every corner. Eventually, in a grand library, Machina Rose paused. Her eyes widened. There on that pedestal, the grimoire of ancient light. The grimoire shimmered with a golden aura. I could feel immense power emanating from it. Machina Rose reached out, her hands trembling. This is one of the 7 ancient elements, she whispered. With this, we might stand a chance against the true Demon Lord. I lifted the grimoire carefully, feeling its warmth. Knight chirped, bouncing excitedly. Einherj gave me a sharp nod, ready to defend. Machina Rose held the book close, whispering promises to her father's legacy. Together, we left the city, ready to face the trials ahead. We left the City of Runes, the grimoire of ancient light in hand. I tried to open it. Nothing. The pages wouldn't budge. The golden glow flickered, but refused. Machina Rose frowned. Knight tilted his head, and even Einherj looked baffled. It's sealed, I muttered. Disappointed, we continued past the city gates. Streets faded behind us, runes still glowing faintly. Machina Rose clutched the book. I thought it would help us already, she whispered. I adjusted my duck pajamas and sighed. Sometimes, legends don't open easily. We decided to return to the city center, hoping for guidance. The Adventurers Guild loomed before us, a bustling hub of information and daring quests. Maybe someone here has seen this grimoire, I said, holding the book carefully. Knight squeaked excitedly. Inside, guild members bustled with activity. We asked questions. Clues were scarce. We wandered into the grand library, rows of towering shelves staring down at us. If anyone knows something, Einherj said, it'll be here. Knight jumped onto a shelf, flipping a book comically. Hours passed. We searched every scroll, every tome. Machina Rose read through records with growing frustration. There's nothing. No mention of this grimoire, she said. Even the Adventurers Guild had no records. The book's secrets remained a mystery, sealed and silent. We huddled near the guild's fountain. We need a plan, I said, holding the grimoire. Einherj tapped her sword. Knight bounced nervously. Machina Rose clenched her fists. We can't just wander blindly. We need information, allies, and a way to unlock this book's secrets. We headed back toward the library, hoping for more insight. Streets bustled with adventurers, merchants, and merchants' cats. Knight trailed along, occasionally bumping into crates. I adjusted my duck pajamas. Let's hope the books have something new, I muttered. Suddenly someone large collided with me. Watch it, I said, dropping the grimoire for a split second. The figure turned tall, stern, with sharp eyes. The Adventurer's Guildmaster, Machina Rose froze. Urza Hart stepped forward. Knight squeaked and hid behind my leg. The book slipped midair as I caught it clumsily. The Guildmaster's sharp gaze followed it. Careful, he said softly, yet with weight. Machina Rose flinched. Knight blinked nervously. I shoved the grimoire into my bag, heart pounding. This was awkward.
You have the one standing against Ragnarok. So you've come to us. She is Erd, a reader of the past. And I am Verdandi. What you seek is the true power of an Einherj.
The Guildmaster leaned closer, eyes narrowing. That book, he said, voice calm but commanding. Were you searching for answers about it? Where did you find it? I froze, gripping the grimoire tightly. Machina Rose glanced at me, worried. Urza Hart's hand hovered near her sword. A cheerful voice called out. The Adventurers Guild receptionist had just returned from shopping, smiling widely. She waved at us. Oh, Leon, Urza Hart, and her eyes flicked to Machina Rose. Night too, I suppose. She greeted all of us warmly, easing the tension immediately. She stepped closer, extending her hand. I'm Leora, the guild receptionist. It's wonderful to finally meet all of you properly. Machina Rose hesitated but shook her hand. Night squeaked and nuzzled her leg. I laughed awkwardly, Duck Pajamas still drawing curious glances. Urza Hart smiled faintly, relaxing her grip on her sword. Even the Guildmaster's sharp gaze softened. Leora's cheerful energy diffused the awkwardness from earlier. Machina Rose blinked, then gave a small smile. The tension faded, replaced with cautious warmth. Moments later, a messenger arrived from the Guildmaster. Please return to the main hall, he said. We need to discuss the book you found. Machina Rose tightened her grip on the grimoire. I adjusted my duck pajamas nervously. Night squeaked and bounced behind me. The Guildmaster gestured toward a private room. Follow me. We need to discuss that book in private. Machina Rose tightened her grip on the grimoire. I adjusted my duck pajamas nervously. Night squeaked, hopping along. Urza Hart's hand hovered near her sword as we entered. The Guildmaster fixed us with a sharp gaze. Where did you find that book, Urza? Hart spoke up. After we stayed at an inn, discussing plans in our room, the grimoire suddenly appeared right in front of us. None of us touched it, just floated. I nodded toward Urza Hart. She's right. No matter what we try, the book won't open. We haven't even dared use magic on it. We're afraid of destroying it by accident. That's why we decided to stay in the city, to figure out how to unlock it safely. The Guildmaster chuckled, shaking his head. Your reactions, priceless. He turned to Machina Rose, eyes serious for a moment. I apologize when I first sensed the Demon Lord's magic in you. I almost eliminated you on sight. Machina Rose froze, her hands tightening on the grimoire. I stepped closer. Urza Hart's gaze softened. I didn't mean to scare you, the Guildmaster said, bowing slightly. Now that I understand, I owe you an explanation about this book you found. He gestured toward the grimoire floating gently before us. The Book of Ancient Light cannot be opened by force. It requires a key, a unique artifact tied to the 7 ancient elements. Without it, it remains sealed, no matter the magic applied. The Guildmaster leaned back, voice calm but serious. You got lucky. Last month, one of our Class S adventurer teams discovered ancient ruins in the City of Runes. Dangerous place traps, monsters, and secrets long forgotten. He continued, eyes narrowing on the grimoire. Inside those ruins, they found something remarkable. A part of the puzzle to unlock the Book of Ancient Light, you might say. Fate led you here after all, though it will not be easy to retrieve or use. The Guildmaster's gaze hardened. To obtain the ancient runes needed for the Book of Ancient Light, you must reach the 50th floor of the dungeon. The Class S adventurer team tried and failed. That boss room is deadly, and few survive to claim the runes. The Guildmaster sighed, eyes sharp. To even challenge that boss, you must raise your ranks and levels, surpassing Class S adventurers. Otherwise, you won't survive. Strength alone won't carry you. You'll need skill, teamwork, and strategy. I glanced at our party levels. Only Urza Hart and Machina Rose were high enough for the boss room, but teamwork was shaky. Machina just joined. I decided to take adventurer requests, one rank above the recommended level. We'll grind fast and get ready, I told him. The guild master interrupted our planning. You're missing one critical point, he said. You need at least 7 people at the boss room's door to unlock it, and once it opens, no one can leave until the boss is defeated. Plan carefully or perish inside. I frowned. And how did the Class S adventurers escape? The guild master smirked. There's one more thing. As a backup, you'll need a Stone of Ravenio. It can bring you back to the entrance of the previous 10th floor dungeon door. If things go wrong, use it wisely.